All right. Well, good evening. Welcome to the webinar. So tonight we'll be hosting a town hall panel here with a few partners. So I'm Lauren Foisey. I'm from the Bucks County Drug and Alcohol Commission. I'm going to pass it off to New Hope Sobriety Cares to do a quick intro with those ladies, and then we'll go and introduce the rest of our speakers today.
Hi, Jessica Morton. I'm the program director for New Hope Sobriety Cares.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christy Cheever, and I am the projects coordinator for New Hope Sobriety Cares.
Great, thank you. So tonight we have with us representatives from the Council on Compulsive Gambling, Pennsylvania, Bucks County NAMI, and the Council of Southeast Pennsylvania. So we'll start first. Greg, would you like to do a quick intro?
Good evening, everybody. Greg Krausz, the Director of Training and Education for the Council on Compulsive Gambling. We'll be talking about adolescence and gambling behavior.
All right, thanks. Go ahead, Mia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mia Scocozo. I'm the Youth Programs Director at NAMI Bucks County. I go into just about every school district and run school programs with the kids, parents, faculty members are centered around mental health. So I'll be talking about mental health today.
My name is David Fialco. I'm a prevention specialist, a tobacco treatment specialist. I work at the Council of Southeast PA. We are a nonprofit agency working for recovery supports, advocacy, and prevention, as well as SAP, Student Assistance Program. So I kind of work in all of those, mainly prevention and SAP. In prevention, I educate young people, community members, adults, professionals on topics related to alcohol and other drugs. And then with the SAP student assistance programs, I also counsel young people who are referred for policy violations such as early initiation of alcohol use, nicotine, or marijuana. It's kind of like a first step. And then from there, we determine whether a higher level of care is needed for that individual.
Great, thank you. So this is meant to be a continuation of a conversation held during the Screenagers series that New Hope Sobriety Cares hosted last year. And we've brought together these local experts to talk about things that are happening in their fields and how they overlap with the themes discussed within the Screenagers space. So as often, kids are exposed to the vastness of the internet, and there are some things to look out for as a parent. So with further ado, we've done those introductions, and then we'll hold questions until the end of the presentation. If feel free, you can place them in chat. Ladies from New Hope Sobriety Cares will monitor those as well and ask them on your behalf to our facilitators. So we'll roll right into Greg is our first slide deck. All right.
Very glad to be here with you. Thank you for having us here. It is a growing and important topic to be able to talk about. Gambling in general. We know it is rapidly expanding in the state of Pennsylvania. It is rapidly expanding in a digital setting, in a digital format for engaging in it online. And access to forms of gambling becomes easier and easier for people, increasing the amount of interactions and potential concerns and problems for them. In addition to what I do at the council, I'm a parent myself, have children of college age, have a niece and nephew living with me currently, and am frequently having this same discussion with them within my household, as well as with people in public about what gambling is, what it's not, what we have to be aware of and concerned about, and really, as part of the work, making sure that parents, teachers, those who have interactions with our youth are having conversations about prevention, harm and risk reduction, and making healthy choices around the behavior. The Council on Compulsive Gambling is a nonprofit advocacy group. We focus very much on assisting individuals and family members around this issue of gambling and those concerns. We do not take a stand as being for or against gambling. We are taking a stand against the problems that gambling causes in communities and for some people in what we do. If you've seen advertisements around gambling, you've seen 1-800-GAMBLER advertised on the legal forms of gambling and the regulated forms of gambling. We help manage that phone number in the state of Pennsylvania and make sure people get connected. We also train professionals. And in my position as director of training and education, I will go anywhere, talk to anybody at any time about this set of issues. And talking about it related to our youth and adolescents is really important. The most direct way I can talk to you about what it is that we're thinking, and we have to start thinking broadly about what it looks like. Simple, direct definition: activity or practice of playing a game of chance, taking a chance for money or some other stake where there's a risk of losing that, right? So you're basically, what would fit in the definition of gambling is anything we would do as people that puts something of value at risk on an unknown outcome. And when we start to think about that as the definition of what gambling is, and then start to think about our youth and adolescents, although it may not be considered legal to participate in regulated forms of gambling, our youth and adolescents are doing that frequently. My niece and nephew had me playing Roblox with them this weekend. And doing a variety of different things around Roblox. There are opportunities to gamble within that game and to place value, something of value, coins, skins, something else. They love to play this game called Steal a Brain Rot, which has all sorts of things around coins and money that you can connect with and participate in that are gambling adjacent or very much gambling. Many of the worlds in the video games that we enter into as people have the opportunity to place bets and gamble. Sometimes people will talk to me, and in conversations with parents, they will say things like, well, my kid can't be gambling because they don't have any money, right? Remember, this definition says anything of value. It's betting skins in video games. It's making bets on social casinos, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and social sports betting as opportunities. The Super Bowl is coming up. Billions of dollars are going to be bet on one football game, both before and during in-game bets being placed. Bets are going to be placed at watch parties that our youth and adolescents are attending. We are an actively gambling society, and this is what Pennsylvania looks like from a regulated standpoint, right? This is what is legal in our state currently. You'll notice that this list does not include PA skill games, which are the machines you're going to see at corner stores, other places, hotel lobbies that look like a slot machine, but are not regulated currently. Not necessarily posted with an age limit to participate and play. I've walked into many of those locations and seen children who look to me to be 8, 9, 10 years old playing a PA skill machine, which is very much similar to what you would do on a slot machine in terms of gameplay. We are now seeing lots of the calls that are coming into us at 1-800-GAMBLER about the online options for gambling, online slot machines, online sports betting, and we're seeing a younger and younger age group call. 18 to 25-year-olds is a rapidly growing age group of people calling the hotline for assistance with their gambling and their gambling concerns. Lots of these are available, and this is what the age limits look like, right? So this is the age that you're supposed to be to participate and play at a minimum age for it. You'll notice that all of them are 18 or older. And we know when you look at the data from the Pennsylvania Youth Survey, which is a survey that's done across the state about youth and their engagement in behaviors and protective and risk factors, 6th graders through 12th graders, we hear that the most common form of gambling for youth and adolescents is lottery and scratch-off tickets, usually given as a gift around something. Lottery, the age limit, minimum age to participate is 18. Bingo is kind of an interesting one because it says none and shows an asterisk. You can play bingo if you're under the age of 18 in the state of Pennsylvania, as long as you're accompanied by somebody 18 or older. So the age limit's 18, but whatever age you are, if you're with an adult over that age, you can participate in that type and that form of participation. So this leads to some of the question of, well, wait, if they can't legally participate in gambling, how are our youth and adolescents participating? How are they engaging in this? And we know they are. The data that comes in is that underage youth, so 18 and under, the reports that come in from not just the US, but several other countries that are similar to us, is that youth have placed bets, 80% of them, within the past year. That's 8 out of 10 underage youth. So 8 out of 10 people under the age of 18 have reported that they've gambled in the past year. It is a common behavior. It's prevalent. And what we know is that the problem shows up about twice as high a rate as it does in adults. Adolescents are more at risk from a developmental perspective, from the way our brains are functioning as we're growing up. The frontal lobe of our brain that kind of helps us work with it as a brake to make decisions and kind of think about all the outcomes. Most research tells us not fully doing what it's supposed to do till we're 25 to 27 in terms of those decision makings. We're much more likely as youth and adolescents, and we're supposed to be this way, to take risks and take risks that are higher risk of what we do and what we don't do. So adolescents tend to be reported in several countries of having this problem at about twice the rate of adults. In it showing. And in addition to that, 4 to 6% who actually have what we'd consider a severe problem with gambling, 10 to 15% have some symptoms of a problem and are at risk of moving on to it being a bigger concern for them. So when you add those up, right, it comes out to about 15 to 20% either have the problem or at risk of developing one. That's 2 out of 10 youth are struggling with some type of concern around gambling. The adult population, they estimate it at being about 1 to 3% have this concern. That represents, right? You look at 1 to 3% or 4 to 6% in the numbers and the data, and you're like, well, that's a small number of people. Well, 1 to 3% of the US population is 5 million people. And in Pennsylvania, that 1 to 3% is 300,000 people who are having the concerns with gambling in some way. When you look at that percentage and apply it to the population of our state. So this is how adolescents are participating in gambling. Maybe you're familiar and have seen the pictures of these apps that I have up. The top one, the one that looks like an S and an L, is an app called Stadium Live. This is a sports betting app that adolescents are using because it does not require an age limit because it is considered a social casino game, just like social casino slots, the bottom picture of it, the app. These are betting games that you can participate in at any age because you're not betting real money. I found out about Stadium Live in a conversation with my 14-year-old nephew. We were watching a sporting event, and he's like, yeah, I've got a bet on this game. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you're 14, right? How are you betting on anything at 14? Because I know how hard it is to set up an account underage, right? You have to prove your and verify your age. You have to prove and verify an account. And I know I didn't set up a sports betting account and I'm letting him use it, which is part of how that access happens. There are many parents who have set up sports betting apps for their youth and their adolescents under their name and let their youth and adolescents place bets. But Stadium Live, you sign up for it, it gives you coins in the game, and you place sports bets like you would on anything else. Like today, I have it on my phone because I track it and I use it as educational purposes and kind of to get an understanding of what's really going on and happening. That is, today you could have bet are 7 trades going to happen in the NBA today before the trade deadline. And you place it and you win coins or lose coins. And like many other things, the way they engage you is these microtransactions. And if you lose all your money, you can pay $9.99 and get more coins to continue to play. Loot boxes in video games, very much connected to gambling and gambling-like behaviors. This is kind of how it works if you're not familiar with it. I want orange paint for my car in a game with cars. I can buy one of 3 options based on how much money I want to spend of a virtual treasure chest that's going to give me paint colors for my car. So I decide I'm going to buy the $4.99 one because it gives me 2 colors and maybe more likely to get orange. I make that purchase and I get purple and green, not orange. And then I'm looking at it going, oh, this time it's only $10. I'll buy the gold one because I'm going to get more options. We've likely all seen stories or had our own experience as parents seeing the $300 in-game purchase bill at the end of a month. 99 cents, $1.99 doesn't sound like that much until you do it 100 times in a month. And then it adds up. Loot boxes, we're never guaranteed that we're going to get anything. They're not regulated. There's nothing that says you have to give this thing you're looking for out. But in-game purchases is the way in most video games people are currently making money and developing and using and participating in video games. So we talked about that problem happening. So some of the things that we want to pay attention to around, is an adolescent gambling? Are they having problems? One, check their phones. Ask them to show you what apps they're using, what apps they have on their phones. I've talked to a number of superintendents who do that just to kind of say, hey, what are you engaging in? They have told me close to 80% of male students have a sports betting app on their phone when they've done those kind of random discussions with people about it. but you want to look at their performance in school. Is there a change in attendance, grades? Are they suddenly having large amounts of money in their possession and talking about their wins, right? Paying attention to what they're saying. Are they doing searches for lines? They start using language about legs and parlay bets and talking about the lines, the over under. Lots of interest and excitement around those conversations is some of what you'd look for. Changes in behaviors, um, listening for the language of it. That's how I found out my nephew was participating, is I heard him using language around gambling and said, okay, let me take a look at what is really going on and what's happening. Lots of that word bet being around and being used. And you may start to see them, if it is a significant problem, start to cross these lines of committing other acts, theft, stealing, shoplifting, to help them fund their continued thing. Gambling's not just about the money. Money is the fuel for gambling's fire to continue. Our youth and adolescents are at risk of this and what happens. There's lots of resources available for you. 1-800-GAMBLER is the statewide hotline number. You can call, chat, or text. It doesn't have to be the person who has the gambling concern. It can be their family, their parents. We have a lot of information for you on our website, pacouncil.com. Gamban is software that you can place on your devices for about $40 a year that blocks thousands of gambling sites. So there's blocking software that's an option. The lottery runs a Gift Responsibly program every year around the holidays, usually holiday focus. But they focus on this piece of let's not buy lottery tickets for our youth and adolescents and introduce them to it earlier. These websites, there's a couple of them. Prevention Lane, Change the Game is a great website out of Ohio that provides information to educate youth and parents about gambling. Video game wise, there's two resources for you. Game Quitters, Reboot and Recover are sources to get information to help you and assist you if there's a video gaming concern with the youth. And then you can always contact me or the council directly. This is a direct business cell phone number for me and a email address. Happy to be of any assistance. I'll stay on the rest to hear everybody else's presentation and then answer any questions at the end.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. All right, we are going to hand the mic over to Mia. Mia, would you like me to advance slides?
Please. Thank you.
Okay.